Hello and welcome to TIP International Radio. I'm your host, Leah Maston. We are showcasing prestigious top professionals from all industries all over the globe to share their experience and stories of success. Joining us from California is an honored member of the International Association of Top Professionals, IAOTP, and he was selected as not only the Professor of the Decade, but also received the Lifetime Achievement Award and was inducted into the Hall of Fame. He has over 5 decades of professional experience in education and has demonstrated success as a professor of computer science, industrial and systems engineering, and astronautics. He is a distinguished professor of computer science, industrial and systems engineering, and astronautics, TRW professor of software engineering, and founding director of the USC Center for Systems Engineering Research Center, and a part-time employee of the Aerospace Corp. Please welcome to the show, everyone, Dr. Barry Boehm. Hi, Dr. Boehm. Thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Dr. Boehm, you have devoted a significant part of your life and career to educating others in computer science and computer technology. Tell us what first got you interested in this field.
Well, it was very interesting because I got a summer job at an aerospace company, and I went to the personnel office, and the what's your major? And I said mathematics, and he looked on his board and he saw propulsion and thermodynamics and digital computer. And, well, digital must be mathematics. Why don't you go over there? So that's how I ended up with a summer job in computing. And when I got over to the computer, they said, "Yeah, we'll teach you all about the computer, but let me show it to you." And it was something that was a pretty large size room, all full of machinery. And so he showed me what the where the memory was, and then where the computing was, and things like that. And he said, one thing that I need to emphasize is that we're going to be paying you $2 an hour, and we're paying this computer $600 an hour, and we want you to behave accordingly. So this made me have to learn how to do things carefully and safely, and the like, and it all worked out very well. And so when I went back to Harvard in the fall, it had a Harvard invented computer that was pretty primitive, but it worked, and the instructor was really good at showing you how to make it work. So basically, all of that worked out well. And when summer came back, I had a job at the aerospace company, and did that, and had a job with them when I finished at Harvard. So that's sort of how I got into it.
How you ended up there. Well, computers have changed quite a bit since that summer job.
Yeah, right.
Well, you're widely regarded for your contributions to the field, including the constructive cost model, the spiral model, and the software process and the theory W approach. Tell us about your models and the technologies that you have developed.
Okay, so the spiral model is a way of organizing what you do first and what you do next, and the like. And it basically says that you do things very generally for a while, and that's where the early part of the spiral is. And if you can get the general thing to uh, be consistent with itself, then you can start spiral 2 of the model. And so, uh, yeah, the spiral model was a, uh, a sort of a breakthrough that where I was working and just about everywhere else, people used a uh, model that was called the waterfall model because it had a sort of a stairway kind of approach, and developing your software was as easy as water falling down the steps and the like. So, uh, but in a lot of cases, it would ask you what your requirements were, and uh, if most of the time your requirements are going to be difficult to implement, and it's better to do some prototyping and the like to say, do we want it to act like this and look like that? And so that's the kind of thing that the spiral model enabled you to do. It didn't just say, let's um, put a bunch of words together and then start writing software and hope it fits what needs to be done. So the spiral model was one of the first ways that people could incorporate prototyping of what you wanted the system to do and how you wanted the system to look like and things like that. So that was that.
Having over 50 years in this industry definitely makes you an expert in your field. What would be some advice you would give to professionals just starting out in this field?
Basically, yeah, to take a look at what kind of services you would like your software to do for people, and exploring things like that by doing little prototypes and seeing if I showed you something like this, would that help you make a decision on which way to go and the like. And so again, for people that are just starting, uh, again, if they just went into an organization and they said, here we need to have this software compute these equations, um, it didn't really cover whether the equations were going to be satisfactory for the users and the like. So again, trying to both uh, create the equations and the like, but also to prototype what it was going to look and feel like to the users was important.
It's definitely some great advice. Dr. Boehm, you are so amazing at giving back to the community. How do you find time to balance everything, and why is it so important for you to pay it forward to the community?
Well, again, what I've tried to do is um, at USC is to uh, have the students learn things that are going to be useful for the USC community, and so every year we have um, a 2 semester course that um, uh, and we've been doing this for 30 years, and So we have a group of people that are, some of them are at USC, and they want to have something done with the uh, the, the hospital or the fine arts department or things like that. And so you got to see a bunch of interesting things and help them make their computing more useful. And there were other ones in the USC neighborhood, which would be sort of community services or local small businesses or local government. And so we usually had about um, 30 uh, people that would like something built for them, and we had typically about 20 to 25 uh, teams of 6 people to do these. So that's 120 to 150 uh, students in the course, and so uh, each one of them would um, go through a process that once you figured out who was going to go to which place, the first thing you would do is to go visit their place and then see what they do and see how could software help them do it better and the like. Uh, so basically, yeah, every year we have another 120 to 150 students that have learned how to build something useful for somebody local that appreciates it, and we have a sort of a, uh, uh, a a neighborhood that of people that are aware that we're there, and if they want something built for them, we can build it for them, and they. So the good thing in that is that when the students graduate and start doing job interviews, they have a portfolio that basically um, uh, the hiring people would say, "Well, what have you done in computing?" And they could show you all of the things that they did and show you how that helped the hospital or the fine arts department or whatever. So they tended to get good jobs, and we have career fairs. Yeah, most of the companies that come will try to find our students, and so they have a pretty good opportunity to get a good job in something that they're interested in. So.
That's a wonderful way to contribute and support students. Throughout your notable career, you have won numerous awards and have even been recognized on an international level. In 2000, you received the IEE Harlan D. Mills Award, and in 1997 received the ACM Distinguished Research Award in Software Engineering. Among your other list of accomplishments include the J.D. Warnier Prize for Excellence in Information Sciences, the ISPA Freeman Award for Parametric Analysis, the NSIA Grace Murray Hopper Award, the Office of the Secretary of Defense Award for Excellence, and the ASQC Lifetime Achievement Award. This past year, you graced the front cover of Tip magazine. You were honored at IAOTP's annual awards gala at the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas for Professor of the Year and Lifetime Achievement Award. This year, inducted into IAOTP's Hall of Fame and named Professor of the Decade. Congratulations.
Well,
What would you say? Yeah. So, what would you say has been the highlight of your career or the most memorable experience that you've had to date?
Well, there are uh, several of them. I guess one of the things that um, uh, uh, I encountered when I was first getting these jobs at the aerospace companies was that they were building software to help astronauts fly around. And uh, one of the other things that I was very big on as I was growing up was reading science fiction, and I always wanted to uh, be an astronaut and fly to Mars or something like that. Unfortunately, I turned out not to be a really good candidate. I was getting ready to interview something, and went to a playground with my daughters, and there was one of these uh, little merry-go-rounds, and I would spin them around, and all of a sudden I fell over, and I don't think I'd make a very good astronaut. So so that was. But I was able to get involved in a lot of the astronautical software. So yeah, one of the assignments I had was really at the first company that I worked for, that they were uh, the company that did the Atlas missile, and but the Atlas missile was also the thing that was the rocket that took the astronauts out into space. And so one of my first um, uh, assignments was to build the software that would uh, make the escape module work. So the rockets would have a thing at the front, and if something was going off on wrong with the rocket, the astronauts could push a couple of buttons, and then this thing would separate and safely get back to the Earth. And so so that kind of thing made me feel that I was understanding what astronauts did and helping them be safe and that sort of thing.
A neat way to participate without having to be the astronaut.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah.
What would you say that you attribute your success to?
Basically, uh, well, there are very other things that I put into how do you build the software and things like that. Uh, I developed something that I called Theory W, which is basically a win-win. And that what you want to do is negotiate the plans for whatever this device or piece of software was going to do, and make sure that everybody who was involved in it could come out a winner. And so this is something that became part of the process for building software.
So, looking forward, what's next for you within the next 5 years?
Hmm. Well, what is happening right now is that people are having new ways of developing the software, and uh, so what these can do is help you build it uh, twice as fast and twice as reliable because there are some new kinds of languages that enable you to describe the software in a way that you can make sure that its logic is compatible and safe and the like. Uh, so I've gotten basically what's been happening more recently is that the projects that used to take 2 semesters, now we do them in 1 semester. And there are things like the Amazon Web Services that do a lot of the work for you. And so we've been looking at other kinds of approaches. One is called parallel agile, where basically if you describe the architecture in a particular way that makes it satisfactory and consistent, and what you can do then is to have in one case we had a class of students, and we got the architecture done with the approach that we're using, and gave each of the students a use case. And so basically, there were 47 students that were building this thing 47 times faster than if we'd given it to one person to do.
Wow.
So that kind of thing is happening a lot now.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, right.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Dr. Boehm.
Sure. Uh-huh.
It was just a pleasure talking with you.
Well, it's a pleasure to talk with you too. Yeah.
And for more information on Dr. Boehm, you can visit iaotp.com/Professor Barry Boehm.